Dr John Swinnen is a lifesaver by training and by nature. The Australian surgeon has spent his entire working life patching people up and making them well. But nothing compares to his current calling. He swapped the comforts of life in Sydney for the dangers and devastation of Gaza in the Middle East. He's been working around the clock to help the thousands of people injured in the recent war with Israel. It's a conflict saturated in politics and opinion, but for Dr John Swinnen, all that matters is compassion, because he knows exactly what it means to lose a loved one. Mark Burrows has the story and a warning. You may find some of the images confronting.
It's a new day for surgeon John Swinnen. There's a truce here in Gaza. The bombing stopped for now. But his job has just begun.
We'll set to go.
He's bound for the busiest hospital in the world right now, Al-Shifa. Not your average commute for an Aussie doctor. But then again, there's nothing average about John Swinnen.
And so we've got 5 cases. One is that young boy with the amputation stump. It'd be good if we can get sort of several people scrubbed so we can have one person doing the arm, one person doing the leg, one person doing the abdomen. I'll just pop into the burns unit and see what's going on, and then I'll have a look.
John's paid job is a surgeon at Sydney's Westmead Hospital. But here in Gaza City, he's a jack of all trades, donating his time to MSF, Médecins Sans Frontières, Doctors Without Borders.
How? Good? You have a good breakfast? Yes.
John landed slap bang in the middle of a ferocious war. The bombs were so many and so destructive, John's faced with an endless injury list.
And give the skin stitch to Shussi. The building was hit by an explosion. The building collapsed on him, and he was caught under the rubble for a long time. And that means you're starting to wonder, is he better off with a BKA? But it's marginal.
BKA?
Below knee amputation. Skin stitch, what skin do we have, please?
This is a typical case. Success here will ensure this man isn't crippled for life.
The patients I operate on here in MSF are young, healthy people in good nick, and their only problem is their trauma. So in these patients, you can often do stuff being confident that the body will sort it out.
That must be in some way satisfying for you.
Absolutely, absolutely. And it's one of the reasons I do this. I mean, I can cure people here.
Most of the shops here have reopened their doors and the roads are teeming with people and traffic once again. In fact, everywhere you look around Gaza, it seems as if life is getting back to some kind of normality. But the fact remains here is that 2,000 people were killed and 11,000 were wounded. And is it any wonder why? Take a look at this. If there was a Richter scale for bomb damage, this would be off the charts. It's not just the odd home, but entire streets, whole neighbourhoods, and in some cases, whole families.
If I delve into the background and ask why is this child blown up, it can get quite traumatic. So I tend to not to go into that much. On MSF, it pays not to ask too many in-depth questions.
Does that have an effect on you?
It's not what I see, even the worst injuries. I mean, I've been a surgeon for 35 years and I've seen some pretty unpleasant stuff at home and elsewhere. It's the stories I get told that sometimes knock me for 6.
And of all the stories John will take home, perhaps it's the case of this young boy that is the most wrenching. Just imagine the scene, a peaceful backyard, 4 children playing under the watchful eye of their mother. There's a lull in the bombing when, without warning, a rocket lands right here.
In that moment, a mother and 4 of her children were killed. The father, Isam, was inside making lunch.
طلعت زي هيك جثث كلهم دم بيغرقوا.
After burying 5 of his family, he's nursing the only child to survive the blast, his 9-year-old son, Tair. The little boy is being prepared so John can operate. His leg was blown off, his arms shattered. He has lung damage, burns, and shrapnel wounds all over. And it's here we learn the local doctors haven't told him the full story.
He doesn't know he's lost his mother.
No, he doesn't know. And we keep telling the lies. And we can't tell him the truth.
1, 2, 3. Today's surgery is to assess Tair's amputation wound in preparation for a prosthetic leg. Australian anaesthetist Kelly Dilworth is joining John in the operating theatre.
John, we found out he lost his mother and his siblings in the same blast. And he hasn't been told that.
No.
I mean, does it get any worse?
Yes. Well, should he be told? Should he not be told? I mean, that's not the way I'd do things. I think, you know, if you're in doubt, tell the truth. Anything else, you get confused.
But he's got so much to worry about.
Yeah, people cope. Telling him fairy tales is not going to make his life any better. Move around stuff.
One operation down, but there will be many more for Tair. Back at the MSF base, close by, John unwinds with nightly emails to his wife Ruth at home in Sydney. She's a GP at a clinic for the homeless in King's Cross.
We probably talk more through the emails than we do in real life. And I know exactly what is going on through his emails, what he's thinking, so we keep in close contact that way.
It's John's way of keeping a diary, and he's done it for the last 4 years, with trips to Pakistan, Yemen, the Congo, and now Gaza.
Thank you, Captain.
So why do it? He's 58, and many doctors with his experience are at home, living the good life.
Was there a catalyst for you to do this kind of work with MSF? Was there something that happened in your mind that thought, yeah, that's what I want to do?
Yeah, there's a very clear answer to that, and I don't know how much I need to go into personal detail, but I've got 4 children, but we lost our oldest child at the age of 17 from cancer. And that had a big effect on me and my family. And Westmead Hospital put a lot of money and time into looking after my son. And I sort of feel, my wife as well, that this is a way of repaying the debt for what's done.
So many people wouldn't feel that way. They might go into their shell and not do that. You've done the opposite. You've gone out and gone out into the world.
Yeah, there's great opportunity to do something for other people.
I know certainly after losing our son to cancer, we certainly changed our attitude to life.
Why was that such a sort of a cathartic period for you?
You've got to make some sense out of something that just is totally meaningless and senseless. That's been our ethos all through life, is that someone needs help, you should go and help them, not earn money from their misery.
And there's plenty of misery on the streets of Gaza. A fleet of ambulances shuttles post-surgery victims to an MSF clinic. Today, the paramedics are picking up Hussein, one of their own. And he's met by nurse Raywin Turner from New Zealand.
He's an ambulance driver, and the ambulance took a hit. His driver was killed and he's been severely injured. So, yeah.
A local cameraman captured the moment. Hussein's ambulance races to pick up the wounded from a bomb blast, not knowing that a second bomb is about to drop right beside them. Now, Hussein is a patient alongside some of the children he helped save.
The tough thing that strikes me here, I just saw a little baby and her face was really badly burnt, a lot of scarring.
Well, 48% of our patients here are children under 15. So the children have been heavily hit during this war.
Now, how do you handle that?
Not very well. I don't like it. I get a little bit upset by the children that come in. Sometimes I think I'm too soft for this job.
Okay, so we're almost at 90 degrees here.
Hard as it might be, the MSF staff try to keep their emotions in check. They know they have a job to do.
I'd like to see him again with his dad next week and see how he's going with the physio.
بدي اشوفك الاسبوع الجاي تمام؟
اوكي رايت شكرا.
الاسبوع الجاي
Then it's off down the hall to help a woman suffering complications from kidney failure.
So she's either going to die of bleeding or renal failure or her arm's going to fall off. So this is not a war-related injury, but it's one of the problems we see is that just because there's war doesn't mean that the normal urgent cases stop coming. Hello, how are you?
The next day, John tracks her down in the recovery ward.
Can she move her fingers for us?
ممكن تحركي أصابعك
And her thumb?
الإبهام.
So that's good stuff. Things are working. So it looks like we're kicking goals here, guys. I don't know how you put that in Arabic. Yeah, okay.
So one more life saved, but there's no rest. Another patient needs vital surgery.
Less than that. If you ask one of the guys to scrub up and prep the arm and get things ready.
John, it seems everyone here wants a piece of you. It's flat out, isn't it?
Yeah. But it's good that way. There's nothing worse in life than boredom. Bye-bye.
As John bounds off back to the operating table, we get word about Tair. The 9-year-old's next operation won't be in Gaza. Instead, he will be medevaced to Germany. Months of recovery and on his own.
You know, at this age, people are very plastic and adaptable, and you know maybe he'll adjust better than you would think. You know, if you lose all your family when you're 65 years old, what do you do? But at this age, he's still got his life ahead of him and his future ahead of him, and maybe he'll adapt better than we think.
2, 3, go.
It's something that maybe the public doesn't understand is what MSF is. We're not a development organisation. We're not even an aid organisation.
Can you make a difference here?
Look, I think with MSF you always make a difference, but you know, we're not here to negotiate a truce. It's nothing to do with us. We're here to help individual patients get better. That's what we're here for. Good, all done. Thank you very much.
Thanks.